And we now transition over to Chongqing, over to the Snake Pit, where we go into our second series of Rogue Warriors taking on Snake themselves. And of course, we will be running this in full, but before we skip past the glorious nature of last series, we're going to tell you that Imp was MVP in that last series. This is Clement Chu, by the way. I'm Jake Asterix, Panka. It's not important at the moment, but congrats to Imp, Clement. Like, my lord.
So well deserved.
Yeah.
It's finally good to have Imp back, sir. We haven't
true.
seen you in a while, but you're welcome to join us anytime.
Yeah.
The team fights were great. He's finally filling the shoes of Loken, but we do have to move on to the next series here. In the band pick, Snake is going to go on to the blue side, and Syndra is the big pick that everyone is looking on. It's actually the only pick that Huatian has found a victory on, and Mala, it's currently his best champion. He has the most damage share on that. Good to see Snake actually pick that up and have an early game plan for their team to roll on.
I know we're kind of sitting on the Syndra for the time being. I want to point out the bans that were just there. It was Jax Yasuo. I also saw that they banned away ZhoaYun's Kled, which is quite hilarious in some regard. But we're going to get straight into this one. Running it from full, it's Snake and Rogue Warriors over in Chongqing. Brand new series, brand new venue. We'll see which team can define their legacy in the LPL in spring. All right, Clement. I don't expect antics in this series like I did in the last one. However fun, but I do expect a bit more aggression with the Nidalee pick there on Xuzhu.
If you're expecting aggression, look for it no further than the bot side. You're having that matchup where Lucian is up against Kalista. Kalista does hold the edge in the edge in the matchup, but both of these are looking to do damage early. And it's also Hail of Blades Kalista. We've been seeing this pop up all over the place. You are, it is on a cooldown when you enter combat, so you need to pace yourself, be out of combat, and then find your trades. But once you get that going, it's so devastating in the early game.
It's also very commonly picked up by Jackie Love, as we saw in the TOP series. So there is merit behind it. If someone like Jackie Love picks it up, you go, ooh, okay, I'll do it. Wuji being the rising star, really, in the 80 carry pool at the moment. So one to watch if you're not familiar with the name. And of course, Xuzhu on the Nidalee will have an easy time focusing the bottom lane with the way things should go. The Lucian Brom getting pushed in at the moment, but I wonder how far that goes.
For Rogue Warriors, this is a rebounding chance for them. They just came out of a horrendous series against EDG. Probably one of the most one-sided series that we've seen in the entire split. They're now with a new top laner in ZhoaYun, actually sitting down Jiang Chao, and also Kongming sitting on the bench as well. Huatian will get the spotlight. And I want to see what they can do with their basically their A unit that they've been playing with this season.
So a quick invade coming through here as well. Javelin toss back onto the blue buff. SofM keen to steal away, or maybe get his own blue buff, but it's secured in by Xuzhu. And he just walks away. That's actually a very big steal, considering his blue buff's still there.
Yeah, SofM's still level 2, so he really shouldn't have the Infernal Chains to slow Xuzhu down.
Well, that's a flash there with Shield of Duran. They've got a spear into Asura. The flash forward there from Wuji. Ignite not enough to tick away. Asura will walk out, but he's going to have to base with no summoners.
And that's the power of Hail of Blades. Kalista earlier on, it was very fortunate. It was a lot of damage incoming.
This is just abusive. That was given over to SofM though. He's level 3. Xuzhu, the flash over the wall from Flanders. Oh, howdly doodly, howdly ho, neighborino. Goodbye. What's your name? Xuzhu. That was first blood in a very interesting manner from Snake.
Xuzhu, the rookie. I just feel bad for this guy. He's not been having the greatest of luck.
He has not.
Going back-to-back against Clearlove and SofM, he loses out on the Krugs and then gives up his life.
Almost called him Todd. I apologize for the stutter there. It was less about me forgetting his name, but more getting into the character of a Simpsons neighbor. But it was, you know, very impactful. Seeing Flandre roam down no lane priority. That's Marla, who just takes a bit of a hit to the face. Does get scat of the week. So we do have individual blood coming through in this series as well.
Yeah, this is not supposed to be a favorite matchup for Rise, but he's doing just fine.
He is. SofM. Here comes Daddy again. Just forcing Huatian out of the lane. Leave me alone. We'll be the 1v1 here. Now, SofM does have priority, especially since Huatian doesn't have any mana. Forcing out. Bit of invade from both junglers.
Watch that play again happening in the top side. Xuzhu doesn't walk away with the steal. Gets hit by the Infernal Chains. And great follow-up from Flandre. Absolutely no hesitation. You could see SofM was debating flashing over the wall, but Flandre was like, let's just do it.
Yeah, let's just get the kill. And now that kill might make a little bit more of a difference. Double longsword there in SofM. Damage going to come down onto ZhoaYun. The Crab walks away from the Infernal Chains.
That was really coolly played by ZhoaYun.
Yeah.
Holding on to all of his abilities. I was thinking for sure he would have to expend his flash in that one.
Surprise as well, yeah. Coolness there. Only has the cull after going back, so there's definitely an opportunity to repeat gank. Actually opts in for the Ruby Crystal, which is very smart. Vision has been toggled off, now back on. Xuzhu was towards those Krugs again. Annoying when an Italy has priority in the jungle, as you can see now from Rogue Warriors.
Xuzhu going on to something a bit different. Previously he was playing more of the Cinderhulk type of champions. Sejuani and Olaf, Gragas, those were his go-tos. But this time really turning a new leaf. He's trying to go for something that can invade and try to assert his control and dominance earlier on.
Yeah.
I really want to see if he can make that work with the crowd control that's provided in his mid and bot lane.
And even though he's invading, getting some of this pressure down, he needs to react to this top side because SofM has free entry again. Spear down, Infernal Chain. Mistimed maybe from SofM. He had entrance into the top lane to repeat gank, but not willing to take the risk on level 6 Urgot.
That's a little too dangerous for him. ZhoaYun is running with the Unsealed Spellbook, and we can see him switching to Ignite, just preparing for that potential kill. And you really don't want to challenge that if you're only a level 4 Aatrox.
That's right. When you know that Xuzhu is in the top lane, level 6 is not really worth much. Oh, Asura, that hurts. Out of it, a imperfect imbalance across many different lanes here for both Rogue Warriors and Snake. Bottom lane pushing in. It's the Kalista Galio that seemed very oppressive to a Lucian Brom, which I never thought I'd say that. And in the mid lane, the Rise is getting the push into Marla, who's taken phase rush as part of the reason why this matchup is a little bit more volatile than it should be.
Typically we do see the Aftershock just with the extra resistances, but great move incoming from Huatian.
But well read from Snake's bottom lane. Doesn't mean they won't get the gold from the turret plating though. Huatian walks by, literally did nothing, and just gets 53 gold.
Hey, he added pressure.
All right.
Yeah, he helped with the production of goods.
Okay.
Deserves that.
Yeah.
Call you out on that. But the bot lane is going terribly for Snake right now.
Yeah.
And this is something I don't think they personally expected. When you pick a Lucian up first, it's pretty much the #1 priority pick in 9.3 and across 9.2 as well. But recently with Hail of Blades on Kalista, we've really seen the matchup change quite substantially. The Kalista's even winning out in short trades and in long trades at both the times at the same time.
It's very good when you think about it. Marla doesn't even need to dodge from that spear. Xuzhu hits a javelin toss wide. Marla getting forced out of lane once again with the help of jungler. Now that is a little bit more something. Rogue Warriors able to get the push in again, move towards this top side where SofM is hovering around now level 6.
Just don't think SofM has been getting a lot of things done in the top side. He's been there 3 times already. Only 1 gank there with ZhoaYun.
Yep. Curious to see the level 6 Aatrox come into effect though. So although he hasn't been active, Clement, which is definitely fair to say, now that he's level 6, he has the opportunity to make some of these dives happen. You have a Syndra, you have a Scion. Both of them have either the range or the Scion could just face front the tank in ZhoaYun. Possibilities now for SofM.
Big moment for Rogue Warriors. Already hitting level 6 spike before Snake's bot lane. Xuzhu's here to capitalize on it.
It's like going from a Metallica concert to something along the lines of Enya. You know, you're listening to Orinoco Flow and you're like, how do we get here? How do we get here?
Rogue Warriors, I like this capitalization, and they're going for something much less risky. Tons of power in that bot lane at this point. Just working off that level 6 spike.
Mountain Dragon next, the spears are in. This should be pretty easily secured, even though SofM's coming to the bottom lane. He won't be there in time, nor would it be that easy. Ren does a lot less damage onto neutral monsters now. So it'll be secured with the Mountain Drake. And although it is a very different game from our last series, which is kind of going with that one, it is still very calm and controlled from Rogue Warriors, considering that SofM did pick up first blood. Lane advantages where maybe they shouldn't exist. Starting to make Rogue Warriors a bit more defined in this first game.
Rogue Warriors did have their defining moment, I would say, in their series against Suning earlier on. Our first pentakill grabbed by Zhang Wuji. This is the roster that they did do it with. Huatian and Zhang Wuji both having great games.
Well, that's a flash out of respect from ZhoaYun. Flandre just runs into him head first.
I like the bluff from Flandre, actually.
Yeah. You don't know where my jungler is. SofM was actually towards the top side. They'll now know he's near the Raptor pit. Perfectly lands spear from Xuzhu. And SofM will clear that out now. Continues challenging level 7 versus level 7. But the bigger difference is that Xuzhu should not be here. Infernal Chains will land, but not continue through.
He is in kill range for the Syndra. So does have to back out immediately. I think this is going to be Snake's go-ahead to really start on that Herald. We see SofM doing it already.
If SofM doesn't push this advantage more, he's losing a lot more of his jungle camps. The lanes are not really working in his favor. We get to a mid-game where, if it's even, Snake are like, oh man, we need this Aatrox. We need a 2-item Aatrox in the jungle right now.
And Aatrox still holding on to that 100%. That's the big thing from the meta right now.
Oh, Clement, I forgot. What? Riven now lost a game.
Oh.
Oh, no. Jinu, what did you do?
I jinxed it.
Man, totally forgot. That's a shame. We just didn't want to look at it. Renekton picked up another win. That's all I care about anymore.
We're celebrating Imp, but someone wins, someone loses.
That's right. This game, I'll be celebrating a Kalista by the looks of it. Wuji, if you haven't tuned into the LPL before, it's the first time you're seeing Song Wuji. He's a very individually classed AD carry, to put it lightly. Very mechanically skilled, looks like a bit of a prodigy. Kind of like when we first saw maybe iBoy. Is that a fair comparison, Clement? You go with something like that? Oh, come on, mate.
I think their play is a little bit different.
Okay.
Uji for me is a...
But in terms of like, okay, this guy could be something.
Yeah.
Okay.
In terms of
good,
potential, no problem right there.
Yeah.
He definitely has one of the highest ceilings we've seen for AD carries just incoming. If you wanted me to just give you a name and say, okay, who's the next AD carry monster after Jackie Love, it would 100% be Uji. Okay. But the way he plays is slightly different, where you did see iBoy, he was thrown into system where it was more about the early game.
iBoy, listen and do it.
Exactly, that's what Mako used to tell him. They see Xuzhu now.
Yep, he's coming to the bottom lane, lands, javelin toss into Maestro. That's enough to force them out. There's a Rift Herald on the top side of the map with an ult as well. They've just found themselves a bait in ZhoaYun. They're going to get the kill as well. Who does it go to? Aatrox, slam dunk from SofM, second kill, and they're going to get the first turret, but it's a race.
And they should win this race. There's still 2 turret platings in the bot side.
That's very true. Rift Herald will help out. Good gold there for Snake. They break it open. It will be responded with. Rogue Warriors getting a turret of their own. But if Snake don't give away any of these kills, it feels pretty good right now for Snake.
Snake definitely, they actually weren't zoned out of the CS by much. It was a 20 CS lead in favor of Wuji to begin this. And talking about Wuji, just circling back again, Wuji is much more of a hyper carry. You do see him as more like an SMLZ, where he's super dominant in the team fight scenarios, rather than later on. Going back to Flandre, that was a disdain that went off, but was not enough range to take ZhoaYun out of the situation.
Very well executed play, or rather dive, from Snake in the end. Killua trying to come up to even the score onto Marla, who has been going pretty well in this laning phase, but you have to say that about Huatian. 2 rookie mid laners who have been relatively quiet. I'm not sure what you'd say about Marla. I'd say good things about Huatian in this game 1.
He's playing a counter matchup very, very well. I really like his footwork so far. He's been getting the face rush off just in time to dodge out on a lot of scatter the weaks, and that's allowing him to trade back. Yeah. And also his map movement is quite impressive. Usually you don't really see the Rise being able to control the lane. He does get better with time and can become this split pusher, but it's quite rare to see the Rise just simply leave lane and pressure other parts of the map so early on.
You'd be able to do that with the bottom lane as it currently is, wide open and broken to look for a pick. Rogue Warriors might be able to do that around the Dragon that's just sitting there waiting. And a 1k gold discrepancy. There's one item on Wuji. See what happens. Good stun landing onto Huatian. He has to burn the flash. And Snake push the mid laner back. They can now challenge Vision and challenge this Dragon.
Oh, this is the point. This is the flash point we've been waiting for. Wuji does have the Pokeball composition on his own hands. He can throw the Galio out and fish for an engage if need be. However, Huatian is forced back with no teleport, so if Snake actually catch wind of this,
what is
which
happening here?
I think they might have, they actually have seen the Rise.
Okay.
They could decide to start it directly, and looks like Rogue Warriors actually are not going to contest.
They could, but they push up the mid wave. They finally do go to the Dragon, so it was more about timing there for Snake. Rogue Warriors back away at the Cloud Dragon. It's just going to make them a little bit faster here. What's the next one? Oh, that's not magic. That's not the magic we were looking for. Flandre runs into a wall. Close enough. Wanted to drift around the corner. Who wins this 1v1? No one. Not even the viewers.
Observer, please take us away.
Very exciting. Yes. I want to see that again.
It'd be exciting if Flandre actually made the corner.
It'd be exciting if ZhoaYun was able to find something on SofM. Or Marla, who might just be caught out. Good scatter the weak, but he jumps back in. Crab got again. Fear Beyond Death doesn't land. Blast Cone saved there, but a summoner burn for the Syndra.
And that's one of those Urgot mechanics you see in play. It's actually very difficult to cancel out the disdain. It actually takes priority even against the majority of displacement effects in the game. And I only know that because Pulse was one of my roommates for a while, which I sometimes regret, but that's the knowledge that he imparted with me, is that Urgot with disdain, you can get out of so many situations, and it's good to see ZhoaYun with that ability.
Did you hate that matchup being a Kled main?
It's not a fun matchup.
No. I think you'd like it. To be fair though, I don't think it's the worst. But it's probably not that pleasant. Especially when you have to go up and auto him to get back on your horse. Or whatever Skull is. Buckbeak.
Hey, don't you talk about my Skull that way.
Man, I'd call him Buckbeak if I was a Kled main.
He's a lizard.
You know? Both of us hate Malfoy. That's enough for me to call him Buckbeak. Well, Snake, oh hello. Here's Spellbook. So, calm your farm. Or your horse.
This game's been pretty quiet compared to our previous
because we just came out of... I told you, remember? It's literally Metallica versus Enya. And I'll stick with that reference to the day I
you were
die.
talking about the game.
Oh, what do you think I was talking about?
I thought
like
you were
me
just talking about the
to...
lane. I was like, oh, this is an interesting time to throw out a musical discussion.
I thought you literally thought
I
went
to hip-hop.
and saw
What do you
Metallica
listen
and
to?
Enya. It's very calming, you know? Very calming. Nothing like this play with a Fate's Fall used. Wuji won't be dragged back. That was definitely a dead AD carry or a summoner's burnt. Ulti burnt from Wuji though, so they can push this mid lane turret. They shouldn't be able to get threatened by the Rogue Warriors lineup.
It's a good time to pressure.
Oh wow, that's a two-man scatter of the week. Snake's in, we want to build more action, and Killua couldn't get out for a second, but with the ultimate burn down, the SofM has to get the hell out of there. Turret goes down in the mid lane, Rogue Warriors hungry for more.
A really good disengage coming in from Killua once again with the Justice Punch, able to take himself out of danger. And SofM, no world ender, so...
Marla's getting some really good scout of the week. Flandre again, lining up the train. Chugga chugga, who's it on? He goes past. ZhoaYun almost flushes into it, but everyone low. Flushes forward again, the spears are into the Scion, but everyone's still alive. And Rogue Warriors just got caught out by the steam train in disguise. Flandre puts the pressure on and the wheels too.
Such a cool split coming in from the Scion. He isolates Huatian on the side and basically condemns him to death while the rest of the Rogue Warrior members have to scatter in the wind. Snake has really pushed their advantages when the Fate call was down. It's done so well, so much pressure being handled, and SofM with the perfect collapse at all. It might not seem like he hit anyone, but he stopped ZhoaYun from getting the disdain out of position, forces a flash, and also cuts off Huatian from the escape.
I think ZhoaYun ran into it.
He did.
So that's unlucky, but definitely Flandre on this Scion is very painful. We have some good Scions in the LPL, as a lot of you may know.
Pretty much all the pioneers of the Scion have now ended up in the LPL. Duke was one of them. He was pretty much the first one to play it extensively in solo queue.
Are we
and then
talking
you got ADD.
Old Scion? Like really old Scion?
No, the new Scion as well.
Oh, okay, right.
Like Duke's one of those, we call him the old driver, basically.
Makes perfect sense. Normally with Flandre, though, we don't talk about his Scion being good because we don't normally like seeing Flandre on tanks. We talk about his Akali, his Gangplank, which he's very well known for, especially in the series of 2018. Season, rather. And Flandre, it's the same case this year. We want to see him on the Vladimir, we want to see him on the carries, and really threatening either the 1v1 matchup or the potential of a 2v2 with SofM. But he's shown that he's still versatile, can still play those tanks. Been pretty key. How did that scatter the weak land? Wuji's like, no. I do not want a piece of that pie. And he walks away.
No follow-up happening on Snake's side. However, they are taking control of the majority of the map. There's not been a lot of pressure given back from Rogue Warrior's end. And it's a situation where Wuji can't find something with the Kalista early on. You can't find anything with the Nidalee early on. It's a composition that falls off quite hard.
Yeah, they had so much, though. Jungle pressure, jungle priority from Xuzhu, and then Wuji just had a great laning phase as a Kalista with Hail of Blades. You get to this point, as you just mentioned there, and suddenly Snake, with 4 kills with a gold lead, it just continues to roll out of control. Rogue Warriors struggle to look for answers.
There are not a lot of places where Rogue Warriors can really put the pressure down. They're going for a cheeky Baron.
There's no vision here, but look who's going to check it. Flandre walking past. Oh, hello. What's going on here? The Realm Warp gets them out. And that was a nice try for what it's worth.
The curious adventures of Flandre. Net massive rewards for Snake. Now,
he didn't do it. He just walked past and he's like, oh.
This is going to work against a lot of teams. I would say EDG is the prime one where this would definitely work.
Yeah.
But against Snake, probably not, because this is exactly how Snake beat BG.
True.
They had a massive teleport straight into the pit, and they were like, you know what? Let's just sneak the Baron. And once Snake got a whiff of that, they were contesting, they were doing the Mountain Drake. There was no contest from Rogue Warriors. No one really on the top side. They knew what was up.
Yeah. Not going to be the case this time around. I'm glad to say that could have definitely thrown a spanner in the works for Snake. Rogue Warriors now just wondering, okay, how else can we force this? How can we look for a pick here? Xuzhu is the one finding the blue buff for himself, not giving it over to Huatian, who's in the top side of the map, willing to match Asura right now. They're managing waves, time's going on. And this is, I guess, the difference between some of our top tier teams, some of our bottom tier teams. We know that at the moment, it's going to be a bit of a struggle for Rogue Warriors as Killua may be caught out with the Infernal Chains locked back down again. SofM doesn't need to commit here, but Mala has unleashed power. He doesn't land it, or rather, he doesn't press it. Outplayed himself.
Romano's doing really well with it, holding on. He knows the heal is still there. He doesn't want to give up tempo.
Woo! Here we go. Flandre's actually doing damage. Hang on a minute. Where's the Iceborne, Flandre? Be a very different story. He's going to ult into ZhoaYun. He gets the damage off, but not the CC. This is still going on. There's a heal. ZhoaYun, wrong side of Summoner's Rift. Where are you going? Come back here. I want a meal, a succulent meal. Flandre, meanwhile, Rogue Warriors have started up the Baron again, and they can't. What's going on?
They're going for a catch.
They got Maestro. There's the Brom. He is dead. Rogue Warriors say, yummy, yummy, in my tummy. And ZhoaYun dies as well.
But Rogue Warriors actually have the inner track on the Baron at this point, and Snake are not contesting. They still are waiting for Syndra to come back.
Spears are in. They're actually doing a lot of damage to this. This is now very real threat. Flash over the wall denied there. As Baron will go down. Rogue Warriors sneak it away. SofM comes in. Wants Killua, but the Faith Call saves the day. 4 members out on the top side of this map. Will Snake continue? No. Potential to chase, but they just leave it.
I don't know what to think about that sequence.
I don't know what to think about any of this, Cloven.
It was pretty topsy-turvy. I didn't expect that.
All right, all right.
I was looking at the bot lane and it's like, okay,
I mean, we spent a minute looking at Flandre and ZhoaYun.
Yeah, and it was mesmerizing. It was mesmerizing. It was a great performance from ZhoaYun. He knew what was up, you know. He's the mastermind on the wheelchair, on 8 legs. He's hopping around.
Yeah, come on.
And it was a really good play.
Yeah.
Actually turned out very well. They did get the Maestro catch. in the meantime as well.
Yeah, in all seriousness, very good play. ZhoaYun is 0-2 and 0, but 2 items on the Urgot. So now with Baron buff, which he did not receive, Rogue Warrior is able to push forward. Flandre, oh, he's coming in fast. Huatian, how do you get out of this? Decimating Smash doesn't land. Redemption coming down. Does a tiny bit of damage, just with them willing to take the fight, but Rogue Warriors actually could turn this. Snake back away. You can see the rest were moving up.
Yeah, and Rogue Warriors finally find their first kill of the game on that play as well. So I'm still trying to see what they're trying to do on the map. This is a 2v3 catch.
Away from Xuzhu, who's looking to re-engage again. Xuzhu's still on the back end there. Killua has to just punch away. Hero's entrance, does he get out? Yes. Very intuitive. I'm not sure what's happening with these fights, but SofM does. Wants to re-engage onto Killua. The Javelin toss again doing no damage. With Cullen coming through, he escapes just in time. Nobody dies. Okay, what happens next?
That was a collapse on a collapse on a collapse. That was a little bit too much Inception for me.
It's yeah, the third level. You're like, am I even dreaming anymore? So you have to plant it deep enough, Clement.
We can see a couple of trends happening. I feel like Rogue Warriors, they don't actually have the catch potential to make use of their earlier game composition, I would say. They're having a hard time just really closing out on the kills. And you can see part of it is because they don't really have good gap closing where they can send Killua into the fight fast enough.
Yeah.
So a lot of times what ends up happening is they can't really close off on a deal. They have to move back. Snake comes in. They try to get their own engage off, but as long as the Winter's Bite doesn't land, no one really dies, and the yakety sax just goes on.
Continues on. Well, it can only go for so long here, Clement. When does it end? You were talking more about how Rogue Warriors have to deal with this mid to late game. Well, they're still going to rise. Callista will fall, but Urgot's there too. So potential to still win these fights and play around some of these carry picks. Flandre trying to get a pick onto ZhoaYun again. This is Snake picking up their third dragon though in the meantime.
It's going to be a massive Elder fight for Snake later on if they can set that up properly. I think it's honestly just down to Flandre. Flandre has been the only one who can change the course of the game. He has that engage that finalizes the plays that are happening on the map, but everyone else has just been doing a massive wet noodle fight.
Yeah.
Slinging mud, but no rocks thrown, no real permanent damage.
You know what, Clement? I'm not going to question why there's mud and rocks in your pool. You know, maybe it's an outdoor pool, maybe it's next to a natural spring where lots of garbage just falls down. I think at this point, though, what you have to say about this game is one fight opens it, one fight could just end it at this point as well. Not due to the turrets being down, but mainly just because those death timers are getting up, and one fight could just give that lead enough to snowball the carries on each side. We'll see. SofM. Oh, Realm Warp. Bait and switch. Except there's no switch. So Snake do lose their mid lane turret. It's opened up again. Rogue Warriors into a gold lead for, you know, one of the first times this game.
Map and control being switched back and forth. I think the key matchup is Huatian on the split pusher. How much can he actually get out of the top side? It was a really smart play earlier on. Like, Huatian actually did a lot in this single sequence. He basically forced 2 towers out of Snake.
Snake also picked up a couple of their own, but the trades are better for Rogue Warriors. Finding the pick. What are you doing here, Killua? Infernal Chains. Will they commit to the kill? Well, they're going to be locked down with the Winter's Bite. Fate's Call saves the day again. Doesn't need to re-engage. That's annoying. The fights are so spread out here, Clement, that Fate's Call's up every time they find a pick, and the pick's always on Killua.
And Killua's been able to find his way out of it, but the last time we saw Snake burn a Fate's Call, they were able to take multiple turrets. It's a very long cooldown, even at this point. So this could be their chance to force. Flandre, of course, still has his ultimate.
Already found the inner and the top side of the map. Rogue Warriors' natural progression of this game means they have to just back away. While Huatian's down in the bottom side of the map. No collapse available. Issue right now is for Huatian, he needs to make sure that Realm Warp and Teleport are both up. 30 seconds till Baron comes in. Look at Flanders, going to the bottom lane. Good scatter the week again. It's onto Killua, but this time it's onto Xuzhu. Just pounces away, yeah.
That was close. That 0.5 seconds in the air should have done it for Snake. They could have followed up with the ultimate.
Oh boy. No damage onto Flandre, by the way. Does he have a Warmogs yet? Because when he does, Huatian is just going to be like, what's the point? Literally, what is the point?
There's no teleport on him, though, so could be worrying. If he's stuck there, this is an opening for Rogue Warriors to potentially use.
He'll use the Ghost, I'm sure. Probably have a teleport up and available. We know the way these things work. There's a Thornmail on the Scion, too. It's not going to do anything for the Rise. Just doesn't mean he's that bit more tanky when we get to that full 5-on-5. Baron's up. Bit of cross vision there. Deep wards from Rogue Warriors. Seeing around this pit there, making sure that Snake are just not going to sneak this one away like they tried to.
You know what? I feel like this is going to be a game where someone somehow manages to still sneak it. Yeah. I'm looking at Rogue Warriors. I feel like they haven't had a very good idea of how to actually drag this game out. Or not drag this game out, but try to find the plays that they're looking for.
Yep.
The Dragon contests, I feel like were massive missed opportunities for them. That's their ideal situation. But after that phase was gone and the map was opened up, you just don't have any pressure anywhere. So Snake has been pretty free to just run the top side of the map. Huatian's not going to be able to chip down that tower in the bot side. And the game state just goes on. Yeah,
with the Syndra who's going more than a CS or 10 cents per minute. Killua might be caught out again. Where's the Fate's call? It is! But Flandre finds the front line instead. They just sacrifice their own jungler. And Rogue Warriors have to bring Huatian in, but with 4 members left remaining, what happens now? Wuji's been jumped on, has the GA available still. Culling comes out, but you see all the orbs on the ground with the Unleashed. Well, no, it's not. What the heck is that? It's just a pull-in from ZhoaYun.
And this should be the Baron finally opened up. It was a tragic moment for Xuzhu right there. He was the sacrificial panther.
That he was. It was like, do we kill Killua or do we kill Xuzhu? And they're like, let's just let our jungler get hit.
That was one fake call where it was probably worse for Rogue Warriors to use than it was.
That was the true bait and switch there.
Yeah.
One that Flandre played well at 2K. Baron still going down. There's no smite here. Contest not going to exist. Scatter the Weak will actually do so much here in this closed off room. Remember, there's no ulti there for Urgot. So now with the Scatter the Weak, it finds 2. The re-engage from Snake, they just find the front line. Huatian comes in, gets the jungler. Messy fight, but Snake still winning it out. Unleashed power onto the AD carry. Explosions all around. Realm Warp somehow just in time. Out of everything you take from that fight, that Realm Warp was pitch perfect timing.
That was pixels away from dooming the game. That 80 carry goes down. That's probably an inhibitor. That's also the Guardian's Angel. Guardian's Angel, of course, already burned.
Yeah.
But that was really, really close. Good show of teamwork. I love the emotes to back your teammates up like that.
Okay, Clement, walk me through this again.
I like Mala's positioning in this fight. You can see that he's very cautious, very aware of how he wants to position Scatter the Weak. Killua goes in, but look at the carries from Snake. They actually haven't taken a lot of damage, and that really allows them to go back into the fight after they exhausted most of the HP bars of Rogue Warriors. Wuji had a great start of it. First 15 seconds of it, he was dishing out tons of damage, but it doesn't really matter because he's only doing it on the tanks, and with Unleashed power still on for Mala, he's able to close it out.
That Realm Warp was insane.
It was.
Like, that was an inhuman reaction of a Realm Warp.
Perfectly timed.
Rogue Warriors definitely not out of this just yet, but with a Baron now on Snake. We'll see how this develops in that fight as well. Remember, Fear Beyond Death was used before, so there was no transition to move in front of that Baron buff and possibly make a bigger impact. Instead, Snake now know that it will be up and there is still a threat, but Marla sitting in the side lane, as Syndra's often don't. Brings the rest of the team up in.
I'm actually surprised how close Rogue Warriors are, considering the state of map control.
Yeah. Still finding some of these objectives. They get the inhibitor turret. Rogue Warriors don't want to go any further forward. Huatian sitting over the side here while Marla just continues to push up. Huatian has to move up, but SofM is relying on that and waiting on that.
I think Huatian should have a lot more gold in his pocket compared to Mala. He's been split pushing for longer.
Yeah.
Wuji caught.
See, we've actually found Wuji, that's right. Killua with the hero's entrance once again. SofM onto ZhoaYun, scatter the weak land. He, remember, has the ultimate available, but blinking health bars there from Rogue Warriors. Fate's Call will save away Killua again. This Fate's Call has not been used to start the fight, and Rogue Warriors are just running away, considering that Marla is just hitting the inhibitor himself. Unleashed power is not available, but the damage might be enough anyway. Killua comes in, going. Three-man shielded around. Finally, the fear beyond death onto Maestro, but they can't burn him down. Snake has the frontline damage, has the backline damage. Wuji can't get in, and this was bound to happen eventually, with Rogue Warriors getting absolutely collapsed. Asura flashes in, and this will all be over in a minute. Just hush, 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 hush. Goodbye, goodbye. It's okay. It's absolutely okay, Huatian. It's time. And he falls into the peaceful sleep of death for game number 1, where Rogue Warriors get collapsed on by Snake. It was a slow one, but a convincing match from Snake.
Rogue Warriors, they were timid on the trigger for so long. A great winning bot lane, but it never converted into anything. And they fall into this slow cadence of death like you were talking about. Snake just run the clock out and finally get the picks they were looking for. They had the strong engage from Flandre, especially prevalent in the last team fight where you saw Killua go in, but Flandre just uses ult, runs into the entire backline, cuts the damage off, and lights out for Rogue
Flandre
Warriors.
did more damage than SofM. Take Sion. Alrighty. Well, Marla did have a good game though. It was consistent. It was to the point we were talking about. And on the Syndra, between these two, it's definitely a priority pick. Not that Huatian didn't have a good Rise game as well.
Yeah, Rogue Warriors, they had winning points on the map, but it seemed like through most of the mid game, they didn't actually have the engage potential or not the pieces ready to start the fights. So Snake was okay with dragging it on longer. They had the better engages overall. They had the better front-to-back team fight with Flandre. And once those engages found their targets, it was just over.
SofM got a kill early, got a second kill as well to follow that up, and it was just like, all right, Snake, let's go pedal to the metal. And they're like, no, it's okay. We're fine. We'll get this to 30, 40 minutes. We'll get there. Flandre was unkillable. SofM did a lot of damage. And it was just a clean way to finish. But that was game 1. Of course, we are going to be moving on to game 2. So we're going to have a little short break here, just a little one. Then we'll be right back for game 2 between Snake and see if they can win in their home arena. Big question.